Hey, what's going on? It's David.Rosen here with Douglas Elliman Real Estate, and I have a special assistant next to me. A lot of people are very confused right now about interest rates, and I understand, I'm one of them. The Fed keeps raising rates, but mortgage rates keep going down. And the stock market, which I publicly predicted would crash, sold all my stocks. Didn't crash. They say it's priced in. They say that the mortgage rates were priced in. They say all of this is as planned. So, I want to just go over two quick options. Option one, they're correct. So what does that mean? Hard to understand what it would mean, but it means that interest rates for mortgages won't go up more than 1% or at all. Maybe they'll continue to stay where they are. And that employment numbers, as long as they're strong, will lead a strong economy. And there's reason to believe that. And the easiest reason to believe that is because we have low unemployment and a huge, strong labor force, and the ability to increase our labor force, which helps our economy. Now, here's option two. Option two is that we're going through what's called a huge dead cat bounce. And a dead cat bounce is like when you drop a cat and it's dead, it dies, but it bounces or off the ground and you think it jumped. And that is what happens when a stock crashes, but it goes up in value. They call it a dead cat bounce. Like, let's say it was at 100, it crashes to $2, and then it goes up to 15. That's called the dead cat bounce. With the expectation it's going to go back down to $4, $3. In the real estate market, and in the mortgage market, I think it's possible we have a dead cat bounce right now. And so if that's the case, we will see higher rates. We will see prices come down. And we will see an inflationary time, which is the headwind that the markets should be afraid of. And we will see a stock market correction, a huge one. And I think that we'll see both. We'll see a crash and a recovery. But it's as if we still haven't paid the price. However, there is reason to believe that couldn't happen. And this is the only reason, which is that, we printed like trillions of dollars. I think it's $4 or $5 trillion when we had the PPE bailouts, COVID bailouts. And all of that money supply is inflationary. But what we're seeing is that the value of the dollar is very strong. And that's the opposite of inflation. That's actually called deflation, where prices come down. So the only reason that could have happened is that all the other countries printed a lot of money at the same time too. And so relatively speaking, even though our money supply increased relative to the amount of US dollars in circulation, relative to the world, we increased less, or our money supply decreased. And that's not an inflationary situation. All of that is secular and it affects the entire country. Another thing to understand is that we can't raise our rates to the point where we sort of might need to combat inflation, according to people that I watch. According to Paul, the Volcker rule, we would need to raise interest rates to about 14% to get to a target inflation of 3%. And were we to do that, according to Tom Nash, who I like to watch, great YouTube guy, don't you agree? Yes, he agrees. We'd have to really default on our own national debt, because our own national debt far outpaces our GDP, and we can't afford to raise interest rates to stem inflation. So I do think we'll have inflation. If you look at the earnings from GM and Tesla, they showed strong sales, but even higher costs and less profitability. And that's what most American businesses are seeing. So I think the mortgage rates today are indicative of a dead cat bounce. They will go up. I think the economy today is very dead cat bouncy. And unfortunately, it's choppy roads. But it's just a landscape. Challenges are hardly insurmountable. We can solve this problem as a country, as an economy, and as business people. And if you have questions about the housing market and how negotiable things might be, please reach out. I'm David. Talk to you later. Bye.